Hello and welcome back to the Thoughts Podcast with Pops. I'm your host, Caleb Poppell, and today I decided that instead of just rambling on for 20 minutes or however long I end up doing these for, I thought I would take to Instagram. If you're not following the official podcast Instagram, it's at Thoughts Pod, Pod. You can go there, you can follow. I'm going to be posting whenever there's a new episode live there, so to make sure that you never miss an episode, go follow it. Other than that, I'm also going to be doing some giveaways on it. I'm going to be doing polls and whatnot about what you guys want. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because this morning when I woke up, I posted Q&A time. I want to know what you want to know. And I have a few questions lined up that we're going to talk about. In the future, if I ever do another Q&A, which I definitely will because I think that they're fun. If you do leave a question, there is a very high chance that you will get a shout out on the podcast. For the meantime, until this gets to the point, if this gets to the point where it's unable to be maintained to that manner. But we're going to go ahead and hop into our first question coming from Nick Layton, aka Nick.Layton24 on Instagram, who asks, "Who's your favorite Layton?" And I think that this question can truly come down to one answer and answer only, Nick. My favorite Layton is you, and that's all we need to talk about for that question. Yeah, Nick, you're my favorite Layton. You can tell Sierra this. It is publicly here. It is on the podcast. This is going to be everywhere. You can clip this, and whenever I say that you're not my favorite, just play this back for me and be like, no, 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 no. Look at here. You said that I was your favorite. And you are, like, you're my favorite. You're a good kid. Tell your girlfriend hi for me if you're listening to this right now. I don't know if you are. Who knows? Next question coming from Emma Shepperson, aka Emma Shepperson on Instagram. She asks, how's college going? For those of you who don't know, I am a college student at Virginia Commonwealth University, aka VCU, here in Virginia, obviously. I'm a commuter student studying business and marketing. That is it's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. I'm more interested in the marketing side of it than anything else about it. I just don't find it interesting to be like, oh yeah, you need to look at your numbers and you know how to account. I actually don't care about accounting at all. I'm taking it this semester. I took it last semester as well. Last semester though, I had mono and a car accident at the beginning of the semester, so I missed a good like 3 weeks of class. And this is like a cumulative class. So like if you miss chapter 2, you're not gonna know how to do any of the next chapters, which really sucks, especially since I missed like 6 quizzes over that 3 week period, and the professor didn't allow makeup, so that sucked. But this semester, I'm retaking it. I actually understand the content. I'm actually learning it, which is really cool. But yeah, college this semester so far is going really good. I actually really like it. You might have just heard me hit something. My bad. But yeah, college is good. I'm enjoying it. There's some aspects of it, such as the socialization factor, that I personally don't get too into myself, just because I don't know. There's I'm there from 9:30 to 1:45, 2 days a week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, there's 15 minutes in between each class. I don't have much free time while I'm up there. So for me, it's mostly just go to class, do what I need to do to pass, come home, do what I need to do to pass, and just go with that. I like college though. I think it's good. It's a good opportunity. If you in your current situation are fortunate enough to be able to go to college, I would highly recommend it. I think that moving forward in society today, it is becoming ever so important, just because of the fact that a lot of businesses, not even businesses, but like just workplaces in general, like upper level, I don't know, can you call like professional jobs upper level workplaces? I'm gonna call them upper level workplaces. But like those type of places are like required degrees, and the fact that there's so many people who are like in the like higher ranks of those places that are about to retire because of the age thing, and there's so many of like millennials and Gen Zers who are like college age about to go into like the professional world. I think that having a degree is really important to be able to replace those jobs and make sure that America is going to be good in the future. Because who wants America to fail? I know I said that I definitely do not want America to fail because I love America. So that answers Emma's question of how college is going. Uh, oh boy. So I just ate Chipotle, fun fact. And I still have like, I don't know, there's so much juice in Chipotle food, and I don't know why. But I had like some of the juice still stuck in my throat. I meant to grab water, but I didn't grab water before I sat down to start recording, which is my own stupidity. I mean, that's on me. I'm 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in. I'm not gonna stop now. I mean, I might as well just keep on rocking and rolling. We're gonna do one quick question from Jenna Plummer, who asks, "I'm your favorite, right?" And Jenna, honey, we need to have a talk. So I don't exactly know what to say when someone asks, "Are you my favorite?" For example, at my church on Sundays, I lead a small group for 7th grade guys. And yesterday at the time of recording this, so Sunday, September 29th, I believe it was, they all looked at me and they said, "I'm your favorite, right?" And I said, "You're one of my favorites," because in all reality, they are all that's like one of my favorites. Except for this one kid. I actually absolutely hate this one kid, but that's besides the point. I still love him. I show love to him. He's a handful, but I show love to him because that's what I am called to do. Anywho, so favorites. I don't really choose favorites. That's just a fact. I have a few select people who I am extremely close with, who I would probably call my favorites, just because of the fact that they are just like the people for me. They're my people, and I love my people to death. So, Jenna, you are definitely up there on my list of favorites. I'll give you that. You are, yeah, you're one of my favorites. So, with that, we're gonna end this portion. We're gonna go into a little sponsored segment, and then we're gonna go right back into the questions. So, okay, here's your ad, guys. Hey guys, real quick, I just want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors over at Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms such as Google Podcasts and Overcast. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So, if you want to get into the world of podcasting, I would really suggest it. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Alrighty, guys, we're back, and now we have another question from none other than the Jenna Plummer. Jenna.p. I didn't say that earlier. I forgot about that. I remembered it now. But now you know. Go follow her if you want. I'm not going to force you to. I'm not even going to force you to follow me. Anywho, hold on. So, her question now is good Netflix suggestions, which is perfect, might I add, because this is the part of the episode where I tend to do a movie review. But for this question, I'm just going to start off by just listing a few movies, and we're going to go deeper into 2 or 3 of them. I haven't quite decided that yet, but we're going to talk about some good Netflix movies. The first one, probably gonna be 6 years. It stars Thaisa Farmiga. If you don't know her, she was in American Horror Story. That movie was pretty good. Tall Girl is another one. I wouldn't recommend it. It's a movie. You can watch it. It was entertaining at the end. There was one plot point that I actually enjoyed in an entire hour and a half movie. Another good one on Netflix is Superbad. That's a classic. Michael Cera and Jonah Hill. So good. Seth Rogen is in it and Bill Hader. And you can't that cast right there is just already incredible. I think it's Emma Stone, the girl that plays Gwen Stacy in one of the Spider-Mans, the Sam Raimi version, I think it is. Um, Another good one on Netflix is The Spectacular Now. And you guys, if you want to hear me talk more in depth about any of those movies, uh, shoot a DM over to the Thoughts Pod Instagram, or just leave a comment on the YouTube video if that's how you're watching this. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and dive deeper into three different movies. We're going to do these in chronological order of when they were released. The first movie is Scott Pilgrim versus the World. If you don't know about this, this is a movie based on a comic book, I believe it is. And it was kind of weird because they were writing the comic book as the movie was being filmed. It was really weird. It stars Michael Cera, Chris Evans, Brie Larson is in it. There's a bunch of other people. Let's see. I have the page up for it now. Anna Kendrick is in it. Aubrey Plaza. Who else in here would people know? Bill Hader makes an appearance. I mean, Bill Hader is just amazing, if we're gonna be honest here. I think those are the only people that most people would recognize. Yeah. Yeah, those are the only ones that people would recognize. But the description that the website gives is as bassist guitarist for a garage rock band, Scott Pilgrim has never had trouble getting a girlfriend. Usually the problem is getting rid of them. But when Ramona Flowers stakes into his heart, he finds she has the most troublesome baggage of all. An army of ex-boyfriends who will stop at nothing to eliminate him from her list of suitors. And I mean, this movie's good. If you're a nerd, it would be really good if you like music and or video games, because at times it kind of plays on the aspects of a video game, and it'll kind of just use the sound effects from it to kind of move the plot along. The cinematography is really good. In general, it's just a really good movie. If you like movies and you like having your eyes pleased. Next movie that came out, that one came out in 2010. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, 2010. The Edge of 17 came out in 2016. It stars Haley Steinfeld. It has Blake Jenner. He's been in some other stuff. Woody Harrelson. Everyone loves Woody Harrelson. I don't care what you say. Everyone loves that dude, that man. Okay, everyone loves him. The description online says everyone knows that growing up is hard, and life is no easier for high school junior Nadine, who is Haley Stanfield, who is already at peak awkwardness when her all-star older brother Darian starts dating her best friend Krista. All at once, Nadine feels more alone than ever until an unexpected friendship with a thoughtful teen gives her a glimmer of hope that things just might not be so terrible after all. This is a really good movie. I think, I don't know. So the best way for me to describe this is that so most of the time when people write movies about high school students in love, they have no clue at all what they are writing in the current day and age, and it's just really bad. However, the people who wrote this movie, they actually knew what was going on, because I was able to relate to so many of the plot points. And it's just the main character Nadine is such an awkward person, and I can relate to that so much because I'm super awkward. Any of my friends will tell you that. But I mean, like, this movie is actually like pretty spot on for like what it's like to be a high schooler. There's like real emotions that most people are going to like experience. The movie starts off with her saying that she's gonna kill herself, which it's just a feeling that I feel like needs to be addressed in more movies. And I feel like this movie is kind of like ahead of its time. It came out in 2016. It's not too ahead of its time, but it's like the fact that they were already touching on such good topics back in 2016 in movies is actually kind of incredible. Let's see. Scott Pilgrim was given an 81 by Rotten Tomatoes. Edge of 17 was giving a 94 by Rotten Tomatoes, which is really good. I mean, I think Endgame got like a 98 or a 99, I believe. Let's see. See, the good thing about having computers is that I can just look up all of this and I don't have to worry about anything really, because it all just pops up so quickly. Except for the fact that I don't know what to look up for some reason. I'm just brain farting at this point. Oh wow! Rotten Tomatoes gave Endgame a 94 and Edge of 17 a 94. So if that doesn't say something about the quality of this movie, then I don't know what will. Make sure you go watch Edge of 17 because Rotten Tomatoes says that it is as good as Avengers Endgame. Also, remember how I said I don't have a drink? I got a drink now, boys! Okay. Anywho, the last movie that we have is came out in 2018. The movie is called When We First Met. It stars Adam Devine. It has Alexandra Daddario. And it has Robbie Amell. If you don't... Okay, look. If you grew up in a time that was recent, there's a good chance, and if you watch Nickelodeon, that you know True Jackson and VP. Robbie Amell is the guy that she always hang out with. If you watch Pitch Perfect, Adam Devine is Boomer. I think that was his name, which fits perfectly for his personality. And Alexandra Daddario is just a great actress. She was in the Percy Jackson movies, which probably isn't the best use of her talents and the best way to describe how you might know her. Because chances are you probably don't know her from that. But I mean, that's just something that we have to get over. But real quick, I'm just going to go over this. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 43%. I think it's better than that. So Adam Devine has the huge crush on Alexandra Daddario, but she's getting married to Robbie Amell. And then he has like this magical photo booth in the place that he works, where he puts a coin into it, and then he can go back to the night that they first met and make sure that it is that they end up getting with each other instead of her getting with Robbie Amell. Long story short, there's a really good message at the end of it. I think it's really good. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't know what they're talking about by giving that movie a 43%. I gave it a 6.7 out of 10. That's just my personal opinion. Give it a 67. But yeah, so that's that. And I think that's going to conclude this section of movie review. Let me know what other movies you want me to watch and then review. I have a few of them lined up. But just if there's any good movies that you think I should watch, either DM it to ThoughtsPod Instagram or leave it in the comment section below. We're going to have one more ad, and then we're going to go ahead and close this bad boy out. I really appreciate y'all listening. Here's an ad. Hey guys, I want to let you all know real quick that I am also having a sale on all of my old merch right now. All you have to do is just go to teespring.com/Caleb-Poppell. It'll be in the show notes down below or in the description if you're listening to this on YouTube. All you have to do is just type in the promo code THOUGHTS at the end and you can get 25% off. I'm going to be getting rid of most of these designs really soon, and I'm going to be putting out some new stuff. So if you like anything that you see, such as the insert bottom text or the box logo or maybe even the Pop-Tarts logo, this is going to be your last chance to get it. So if that's something that you want, now's the time to get it. 20% off using the code THOUGHTS. All right, and we're back. I'm going to go over two last questions that I think I can cover pretty quickly relative to the other questions that I've had. So, just hold on, guys. We're about to wrap this bad boy up, okay? So, the next question comes from Hunterman 2001, aka Hunter Steinbeck, a good friend of the podcast. He says, thoughts on DC and Marvel. So, here we go. We're going to try to do a crash course in my thoughts on DC and Marvel. So, DC, good TV shows, bad movies, for the most part. And Marvel is the exact opposite way, where it's good movies, bad TV shows. However, with Marvel, I'm hoping that with Disney Plus and all those shows, they can change that stereotype, air quote stereotype, and kind of just re-revolutionize TV. But in a sense of which one I like better, I am definitely more of a Marvel fanboy. It's just, I don't know. I feel like Marvel characters are easier to relate with. As I mean, like, you have, like, Spider-Man, whose literal identity is the fact that he's just a high school student, which is something that I think everyone is going to connect with. If we're just going to be honest, everyone is able to relate with Peter Parker. He's just perfect. However, you have, like, the DC comic book characters, like Superman, who is literally an alien from another planet who gains power from the sun when most people don't even go out into the sun. And then you have Batman, who is a genius multi-billionaire who fights crime and is somehow unable to die. At least, I know he can die. I know he has died. But the way that they portray him in movies and TV shows is that he is the the impenetrable force of justice, which I think is not the best explanation of who Batman is. So I like Marvel better. I like the characters better. My favorite superhero is Iron Man. Top three probably go Iron Man, Spider Man, and Nightwing. Nightwing is a DC character. Yes, there's a DC character, a lesser known one at that, in my top three. So, I know, Hunter, that you are more of a DC guy. But I don't know. It's just something about it where I feel like DC goes for a darker tone. Cause I mean, I don't know. There's just their movies are a little bit on the darker side. They have Bruce Wayne's parents were killed in front of him, and then he became a hero. I feel like that's just a little dark, and that wouldn't really go with audiences as well in a Marvel universe. And I feel like the relatability factor of Marvel is just a little bit higher. But that's just a secret. But yeah, that's my thoughts on DC and Marvel. That was the crash course version. And then my last question is another one from Jenna. Jenna just asked 3 questions. Wow. Maybe you're not up there on my favorites list. But her last question is favorite book. Boys and girls, it is book review time. My favorite book is actually really easy. It's this little book called Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. It's really good. I highly enjoyed it. It's about these 2 filmmaker friends, Earl, I forgot what the other character's name is. Crap. But they make films, and then they meet this girl who has cancer and is dying, thus the title, and the Dying Girl. And then they kind of grow an appreciation for friendship and all that. In the book, there's certain parts where it's prose with like your regular like formatting, like sentences and paragraphs. And then at some points it'll break into like a movie script to kind of display how the dialogue is going. And I think that's just genius. They made a movie adaptation of it. It was one of the few movie adaptations that I think is actually pretty spot on with the book, which really made me happy. But yeah, the movie, we can do a movie review too. Movie review V2 coming at you. The movie was pretty good. I haven't watched it in a while. I'll probably rewatch it, let you all know my thoughts on it. But that can wait for another day. Anywho, I think this is a good spot to end today's episode on. So, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Thoughts Podcast. Remember to follow us on Instagram over at ThoughtsPod, P-O-D. On Instagram, I already said the follow us on Instagram part at... But yeah, go ahead and follow us there. Leave us a DM or a message on a post and let us know your thoughts on the podcast and leave a review. And if you do, then your review will get read out on the next episode of the podcast. Or if you're listening on YouTube, you can just leave a comment in the comment section down below. We do read all the comments. So I appreciate you all listening to this episode of Thoughts with Pops. I will see you all next week, same time, same place. Have a good week, guys. Peace.